was your journey to success? Honestly, I was thinking about this and all the money I wasted on advertising, on things that didn't work, and even some things that did. If I had to start all over today with all the tools we currently have available, this is what my path to success would look like. Now, honestly, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but one of the things I think is really important is to find the confidence that you really need to really thrive. So for me, I think I would do the inner work to make sure I was confident in doing that internal work that you need to really push forward and to be the best of the best. Because the reality is that when you're not confident, that lack of confidence, it will cause you to procrastinate. It will cause you to not go to that networking event. It will cause you to slack. I don't want to say slack, but it will definitely hold you back in a multitude of different ways. So I think for anybody out there, I think it's definitely important for you to have that confidence so that you can really thrive the way you really need to really build a successful brand. Now, with that being said, like on to more of the business side of things. So for me, one of the things I said I wouldn't do is I wouldn't invest in social media marketing as my first choice of building brand awareness. Now, this may sound a little surprising as a digital marketing agency because this is literally what we do for our clients. We build or we create sales funnels and we do Facebook marketing for our clients, Google AdWords, things like that. But if I'm being completely honest, I would rather develop an organic social media following. The only difference that is that I would just be a bit more intentional about it. So I would select two platforms to start because you don't want to be overwhelmed by having to post on like 5 and 6 different platforms. Seems like every month something new is coming out. But like I said, I would start with two. And that two for me personally would be YouTube and Instagram. Now, I would still post on my personal Facebook page just to push content to my YouTube channel. And then on my Instagram page, I will push content to both my website and my YouTube channel. So just a little bit of a mix of both of those. But what's great about Instagram is you can actually put links in your story so that can go, those links can go directly to your website or directly to YouTube. But also, whenever you post on Instagram, you can actually set it up to where a copy is actually posted to your Facebook business page. So that way, it's like you're not on Facebook, but it looks like you're active on Facebook. So I think that's definitely a plus. Now, the reason I would go this route is because at the beginning, you just have a lot of time, okay? And these things only require sweat equity. So, if you have limited financial resources, then definitely look at some of the non monetary ways that you can really promote your brand, such as, like I said, content marketing, such as blogging on your website or um, developing your social media following. Now, don't get me wrong. I would definitely still invest in paid marketing. And when it comes to social media presence, content marketing for SEO, like those things are great for brand awareness, but they take time to build engagement that you really need to be profitable. So for me, I would use all of that content that I would have created for social media and I would literally just repurpose it for all of my advertising campaigns. Now, if I only had two marketing sources to choose from, those for me would be email marketing and trade shows, hands down. Absolutely all day. Why? You may ask why, but here's the thing. Trade shows are definitely super expensive. They absolutely are, but the amount of money that you would have wasted on social media marketing, not really getting the results you wanted, not necessarily making the revenue that you anticipated, you could have spent that money at a trade show. Honestly, you probably could have paid the cost to visit two trade shows or to exhibit at two trade shows. And the unique thing that, or the thing that I particularly love about trade shows is that it gives you the opportunity to build connections with people in a way in which you wouldn't have had that same impact digitally, such as doing an online ad. And I think the reason for that is that when you connect with people in person, it's just different. It's just different than when you're doing it online. And so it gives you that opportunity to build rapport, but not just that, but you're also in a room full of people that are in your industry. So this allows you to be able to network with them and become a resource to them. So, what's really funny is I remember when I first got started, I was always saying is how do I connect with the target market who can actually afford me? And I just hear people say that all the time. And honestly, I was one of those people, because there wasn't a lot of information on what it really took to reach those people. And I think a big thing that a lot of people miss out on is that they don't develop their brand persona. And so once you develop that, that gives you an idea of who your target market, not just who it is, because you probably know who it is, but it gives you more insight on where they socialize, what type of events they go to, what they like. And so then that puts you in a position where you can put yourself in those places to actually meet your target market. And a lot of times you may have to pay, and that's okay. Just put it in your budget. You got it. So, one of the interesting things is that a lot of times in your marketing, you have multiple systems working together to yield the best results. So I would use email marketing in conjunction with my trade shows so that I can continue to build rapport by connecting with them after the show so that I can essentially close the sale afterwards. So that's pretty much the end goal. But when you're doing trade shows, you may book some sales at the show, but a lot of times you're booking those sales after the show. So you definitely have to have some type of sales funnel to be able to connect with them afterwards and to make sure you get them on the call. So you're doing that sales call, or you're doing a strategy call, whatever it is you kind of have going on in your business. But for me, that's pretty much my goal, is to get them on the phone after the show so I can close the sale and talk about how we can move forward together. So for me, what that sales funnel looks like for me is an email marketing sequence. So every company is different, but that's how I would do it. All right. And not, like I said, I wouldn't waste money on conferences either. At the beginning of my business, at least. And why? Because the reality is that you go to all of these classes and they're only about an hour long each. And you're only going to get a small nugget of information from each presenter. Not to mention, after the event, you decide, okay, I'm ready to implement this into my business, all that good stuff. And then you get stuck somewhere. And now you're in a position where there's no one you can actually call for clarification on how to do something or how to implement something in your business. And so when you just really calculate the costs of travel, of food, of the cost to enter into the event itself, for the cost for additional classes at that conference, you really have to ask yourself, what am I really getting out of this? So for me personally, I would rather take that same cost and actually invest in a mentor, someone who you can ask follow-up questions if you get stuck on something, someone who can guide you on the best way to close a deal. So I think those things are important, because at the end of the day, when you go to these conferences, if you do have a question, they're just going to take you to their coaching platform, and you're going to have to pay another 3 to 5, maybe $10,000. You could have just went straight to the mentorship and saved that other $3,000 that you wasted on the actual conference. So with all of these things I mentioned, now I want you to keep in mind, none of these are actually bad or wrong. So there's nothing wrong with investing in social media marketing. There's nothing wrong with going to business conferences. But the important thing that I would like anyone who's viewing this, the important thing I want you to keep in mind is to be mindful of where you're allocating your marketing budget. So invest where you're going to get the greatest return, especially at the beginning of your business, because at the beginning, you just have limited financial resources. So you definitely want to make sure you're allocating those in areas where it's going to benefit you most. So, with that being said, I definitely want to hear from you guys. So, if you were starting a business today, what would be your first step? So, definitely leave your thoughts in a comment. And if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to my channel. So, that's it for now. See you guys next week. Ta ta for now.